Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Eric Burlison. I'm a state representative for the 133rd District. I represent the city of Springfield, western parts of Greene County and Springfield, including the city of Battlefield. And I'm humbled today to bring to you House Bill number 635. Is titled Hailey's Law. My community was, on February 18th, was struck by something that really, most people think, when they think back to that day, and they think back to getting the alert on their cell phone, most people know exactly where they were and what they were doing on that day, at that time. And then to see all the actions that took place and what our law enforcement was doing at the time, and knowing that in those hours from the time of 4:48 p.m. when the police responded to the report of a child abduction to the time that whenever the incident closed, to imagine everything that happened in that took place in that time. And so from the time of the abduction that occurred, or from the time the call was made at 4:48, the Amber Alert went out approximately 2.5 hours later, and unfortunately was not in time to, and looking back at the situation, I don't know that anything that could have been done with the Amber Alert system, and I'm not saying that anything that we can do is going to correct or save all situations, but we can't look at a situation like this and not ask ourselves, what can we do to improve and find ways of continually improving the systems that we're responsible for. So what I will say that law enforcement on that day and every time a child is abducted is doing their best and doing everything they possibly can to find the child and find those that are abducting those children. Unfortunately, they're working with a process that is not perfect and not ideal, and they're having to communicate with multiple layers and multiple levels of government bureaucracy. And so this attempt in this bill is hopefully to dissolve some of those layers and create a way for the different layers of government to communicate better. What Hailey's Law does is build an electronic interface between the MULE system, the Missouri Uniform Law Enforcement System, and the Amber Alert system the Highway Patrol is responsible for. On February 18th, when Hailey Owens was abducted, the way that Amber Alert process was activated went in this form. After law enforcement arrived on scene, they then confirmed that it was an abduction. They would then radio or contact their dispatch or their records department, who would then be responsible for going to the Highway Patrol's website on the internet, navigating to the Amber Alert section, finding the PDF, downloading the Amber Alert PDF, printing the PDF, completing the PDF form, and then faxing the PDF form to the Highway Patrol. Highway Patrol would then call back the local law enforcement agency to determine that it was indeed from them and not a hoax, and then they would begin the process of entering in to the correct software that they have, so that would notify all the different local news and other media outlets. Since that time, to give tremendous credit to our state Highway Patrol and what they've done, they have taken that printed PDF process and they have made it an automated PDF, so that it's something where you navigate to their website, and then you can complete it from the website, and then whenever you hit submit, it submits an email to Highway Patrol. They've also provided training throughout the state. They did a round of training to help inform and educate local law enforcement agencies on how to activate an Amber Alert. They also switched their Amber Alert system and software that they use to one that is more integrated than they basically had to enter into multiple places the information to get it out to the different media outlets. They've also partnered with the Missouri lottery system so that it's flashing whenever you're at a gas station or at a place where it's flashing on those marquees information about the Amber Alert. And one of the things that was glaringly obvious in the problem last year was that there is a board that is established in statute, and unfortunately that board, the executive branch had not appointed enough members to that board, so they did not have a quorum. There still are members that are serving expired terms on that board, but they have met recently they have their first meeting that they've had in a number of years, just I think a few months ago. So a lot has been done to try to improve the system. This bill will hopefully help dissolve some of those layers and make it even better. Working in the computer industry and software development, what I saw as an immediate opportunity is that you have two software systems that need to be interfaced together. So last year I found on the budget, and with your help, we appropriated $120,000 to the Missouri Department of Transportation, or to Highway Patrol, to create software development for them to create an electronic interface between Mule's system and the Highway Patrol, so that when they're working in the software that they already know how to use, it's simply a click of a button. That's the goal. Because for me, in evaluating some of these incidents, the catch-22 is that what local law enforcement is experiencing is actually a good thing. And it's a good thing that we rarely have the need for an Amber Alert. The bad side of that is that when it does happen, because it's in some communities in our state, there's some counties in our state that have never had to do an Amber Alert. But because of that, when that happens, they often don't know exactly what they need to do. So education is important, but it's also important to make sure that the process is so simple that you shouldn't have to be educated to do it. And that's what this bill will hopefully accomplish. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I would be happy to entertain any questions.
Thank you for letting me speak today. Hailey, she was my baby girl. I raised her since she was 8 months old. And I know that nothing that we can do can bring her back, but if I can keep another family from having to go through this, then we need to do something. Whenever it comes to the case and how it happened, it wasn't because of lack of effort by our law enforcement that we didn't bring her home safely. It was the lack of the tools that they need to be able to get the Amber Alerts out quick enough. And granted, no, I don't know that it would have brought her home safely, but I know we would have had a better chance. Therefore, that's why I want to bring this out and get this process speeded up to where another family doesn't have to go through this.